Hey guys, I'm just going to set everything up. Just bear with me a minute. These sound effects are a bit loud. I don't want to put these sound effects on because they're too loud. So I'm going to have to go to options, audio, skip the sound effect. There we go. That way you don't have to listen to the steps. Just gotta test to see if it's... There we go. That way you don't have to listen to the steps. Just right, here we go. See if it's... Just testing the audio, that's all. Right, here we go. Oh, hang on, I need to bring up the chat first. There we are. Right, so now it's time to get back to where we were before. Now, I only just started, so I didn't really get too much done. But I think what we need to do is turn on the power first. If I can find it. There we go. Yeah, and now we can go through the door, which leads over there. So yeah, we don't want to go that way yet. Actually, I should turn up the sound just a little bit, just so that I can get some prompts. Like, just about there will do. Yeah, that should be alright. But yeah. Changed the audio, it seems. Yeah, there's been an audio overhaul update apparently. That's something that recently happened. And we have our hydrogen and oxygen there. So what we were doing, if memory serves me, was like we were building a ship. So the ship is up here. And it's still not finished building. So, do I have a reactor attached yet? That's the question.
No fuel.
Apparently not. So I need to find a place to put a reactor on this ship. So, apparently that's an oxygen tank, that's a generator. So we've got the ability to add oxygen to this ship. Now we just need a reactor, and hang on a minute, getting used to my new keyboard, since the old one was kind of like membrane, this one's mechanical, but the keyboard is a lot different from my old one. Oh, hang on, I don't have any steel plates, right, so I'm going to have to grab some, aren't I? I mean, the silly thing is, I could grind this ship down, but I can't be bothered right now. I'm the sort of person who just likes to create stuff. I don't like to, like, grind things down unless I have to. But considering the fact that I'm playing this, like, Crash Red ship, which is kind of easy mode if you think about it, it pretty much is easy mode. Yeah, I'll just get blast doors with... Oh, this is small ship, isn't it? I want large ship, that's what I want. Yeah, there we go. Get another load. And now we just need to find out where... That's my inventory, so... Connected... Oh, I see now. We've made things a little bit more complicated, it seems. That's something that the developers seem to be good at. But I'm just going to grab some random components, see what I can do with them. I have a feeling I'll need mail grids. I won't need that many computers. Probably about 50. Well, I'm not really sure what I'm going to need, to be honest, but I know I'm going to need some reactor components. Now I swear I got a reactor, but I just don't know where it is. That's the problem. There's apparently no fuel on that ship, which I remember like grinding down a small reactor, so we should have either some components for it, or we should have a reactor, either one or the other. But I don't know where they are. Like, if I can find one, then that would be easy, but it's obviously not going to be that easy, is it? Can I produce them? Like, it's difficult to tell because this game's always changing, so like, as you can see, everything's different here. Ah, reactor components, yeah, they look completely different. I need gravel apparently to make reactor components. Finally an excuse to actually mine stone, so let's get doing that. Yeah, just a basic drill. Oh, that was some lag there. Oh shit. I don't know if I'm actually getting some. Oh yeah, that should be enough. Hopefully. Just get a little bit of stone, stick it in the refinery, it'll be fine. Right, so now we should. Oh, hang on. I've got an idea here. I'm only doing this because I know if I don't do this, then I'll be screwed later. But yeah, put the gravel in there. That way, means I can build these things. Right. Yeah, this is a lot more complicated than it used to be. I had them the whole time, but I didn't know. Right, I'm gonna get some more construction components. Might as well put those interior plates in there just in case. A display can be handy. Just get a nice range of materials because I'm gonna need them. So, let's hope that we can actually do this. Right, so I need a steel plate. I have a steel plate. Oh, wait, I don't. Crap. I thought I got some, but apparently not. Yeah, I don't know if my mechanical keyboard's too loud, because it does use blue, like, it does use the blue switches, so it might be a bit loud on the stream. Hopefully it's not that bad. Ow, what was that? How did I hit myself there? Right, so I just need a place to put this thing. Just to put a reactor somewhere. That's what I need. Putting it at the bottom there would be a good idea, maybe. It's easy to access, and yeah, that sounds like a good idea. I don't know why I'm still welding, but whatever. I guess I'll grab some uranium then. But yeah, I decided to get this keyboard mainly because, well, I'm a blogger, so I want a keyboard that's nice to use. If I'm going to do a lot of writing, I might as well get a good keyboard to write with, you know what I mean? So now we need to find the uranium, and I don't want to go to production. I don't know why I'm looking there. And now the game's luring me to grab a freaking skin again. But I'm gonna try and, yeah, just put 5 on there for now. I know what the hard bit's gonna be. The hard bit's gonna be adding all the thrusters to this ship. I know that's coming, and I'm dreading it. So yeah, I'm gonna just dump that in there, And yeah, soon I'll be able to move this thing. Hard to believe right now, isn't it? But it will happen. Like, I'm already dying to add some, like, pointless aesthetics to it, like, but I know deep down that it's not a good idea to do that, so I'm not going to. But this is just begging for it. Just look at this section over here. Like, what am I going to do with this? Armor or something fancy? I don't know, but I think it would be nice to have some sort of, like, a container or something. That would be really handy. But yeah, I'm going to probably... Do I have one? Is this the cargo? Yeah, that's a small cargo container. Like, the drills can hold a bit, so that's not... Oh, hang on a minute. That's the reactor. It was at the top all the time. Like, the whole time. Right, I'm gonna have to take this out. I mean, 2 reactors doesn't hurt, but I'd rather have all my reactors connected if I'm going to have them. So here comes the tough part. We have to have thrusters. And where are the thrusters again? That's a good question. There we are. Yeah, I'm probably just going to add some basic ion thrusters. Nothing too fancy. 2 at the back, just to start with. I can always modify this later. And I want 2 at the side. So we're going to do the same here. Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to get hold of those thruster components, but I'm going to have to create them soon. Let's put some more here then. Right, now we just need some at the top. But to make room for the ones at the top, I'm going to have to... Well, for starters, let's just put this block there, might as well, because... And I'm going to saw these 2 blocks at the side. I think I oversawed that. Right, so yeah, they've changed a little bit. Like, now I accidentally got rid of that oxygen container. Well, not container, it was the oxygen generator. But yeah, in this game you want thrusters at all sides. You can't just have a thruster at the front, like at the rear, like in sci-fi, where it's just like 1 thruster at the rear and that's it. The problem is, how am I going to add thrusters to the front? I haven't really thought of that, and I'm going to need to add some thrusters to the front. So I think this is going to get a bit trickier. I could get rid of one of these and add a thruster flare here, or I could add a thruster. Nah, that's a bit... Like, another thing about thrusters is that they can actually damage the surroundings. What I could do is maybe have a thruster here, like if I put a thruster at the side here maybe. That would be a bit of a pain though, because well, I have to get the ship up, so not sure I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to just saw all these, then I've got some bits at the side which I can put some thrusters that go on the bottom. I think that's probably the most important bit right now. There we go. It's actually a lot harder to build with this keyboard because... Oh, energy's low, but I should, if I have this ship, I can just put the uranium in there and I can regain energy. Yeah. So I don't need to go all the way back to that ship. I can't get oxygen though yet, but I will eventually be able to do that. Just not right now. What would be nice is if I could get ice directly into this ship. That would be really cool, but probably take time to do that. So should I get rid of that? Maybe. I mean, you've got all this at the front. Like, surely there'd be somewhere I could put this at the front. If I could put some like armor at the front, that might be handy. I mean, we don't really need too much vision, surely. It's got like the thingy in the way anyway, so maybe we could put something in front, maybe? I'm not sure. Like, we could put something here and have like a slope here so that we've got kind of like an armor like that. As you can see there. Actually looks pretty nice too. That way we can slot in the thruster. Oh. Yeah, it's not going to be that easy, is it? Because the freaking thing is there. Right. If that's the case, then I'm just going to have to do it like this. Gonna have to make it bigger and have like a bigger surface on it. Hopefully it just doesn't like hinder my vision, because that would be bad. But it's a bit different from how I'd normally do my ships though, but it'll do. I think what I could actually use now is one of these. Yeah, this will be really handy as well. Just basically so I can keep some vision, but protect the thruster. I could argue I don't really need to do this, but like, I might as well. Now I just need to replicate this on the other side. Oh, and I also need to turn off the light first, because it's just a bit too light. Oh, I need to go to 6. Yeah, it's like I'm getting used to the controls again with this new keyboard. Right. So I want to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to start from this side because it's easier for me. And just build it around from there. I'm not the best at replicating things, believe me. I like creativity, but when it comes to replicating, I'm not that great. There's nothing worse than having to redo something. Like, once it's done, it's done. I don't want to have to go back to it. Unfortunately, sometimes you do. There we go. For the moment, it didn't appear. So yeah, I'm going to put one of them down here so I can get a spot for another one of these. Yeah, that looks alright. It's a bit odd for me to make a ship like this, but let's put it this way, I have a bit of OCD, like, when it comes to shipbuilding. I take it very seriously. Like, if I take any game seriously, it's games like this, which are like creativity games. I take these games very seriously. Sometimes a little too seriously. So, the question is, what am I going to do with this? Shall I... a light armor? Yeah, that can go at the top, I guess. And now I just weld the thing. Hopefully it's all in position to be welded. And hopefully it doesn't screw up my vision. So if it does this, then yeah, the targeting is a bit iffy. It is. Might have to get rid of these. That might be a thing that I need to do. Get rid of these. That way I can fill this one in. There we go. Oh shit, I forgot to actually weld it. Hang on. Right, so there we go, that's one side done. Aside from the thrusters, I'll do those later. Right, I'm going to need some more components for them. Looks a bit overly complicated for a mining ship, but there's reasons. Like, most people wouldn't put all this work into a mining ship, let's put it that way. I'm gonna just grind this so I can weld this bit. Oh, I buggered up again. And I'll just grind this freaking ion thruster, so oh fuck. That went well. Whoa, lag spike. Maybe adding meteors wasn't the best idea. Note to self, don't add lag things when you're doing a stream. Not a good idea. Especially in this game. Right, that looks alright. How does it look from the... Yeah, I can get by that. Actually looks like a good position, like if you have like, if you're trying to aim at something specifically. It's a pretty good thing to have, but it is a mining ship though, so it doesn't really need like a focused aim or something, but I suppose it works. I mean, what I could do is add some spotlights to it, and I might do that. But first I need to worry about how I'm going to do these thrusters. And I'm definitely going to have to put armor around them. That's part of my OCD right there. So oh, and like that's another thing I might want to do. Yeah, I'll do that as well. It's kind of like a bit of supplementary armor, you could say, just to add that extra bit of protection. I'm overthinking this, but that's what this game's all about, overthinking things. Even though you'll never encounter a situation where you'll need armor for mining ship, it's fun to overthink it, you know what I mean? That's how you come up with all these outrageous designs and shit. Not sure what to put here. Like, that's the thing when I'm building these ships, it's just like, what should I put here? Like, I really want to put a little fancy detail on the end. Just nothing big, but just like this little thing here. It'd be really cool. Just like this little end to it. Just a bit of decor, because why not? Can't go wrong with a bit of decor. Like so. And now, time to get some thruster components. Now there's a few ways I can go about this. I could just grind them down if I really need some, but... Oh, by the way, my advice... Oh, I shouldn't really need to go in here to do it. My advice... Oh, I didn't know I could go just over here. Yeah, but my advice is to, like, not make your mining ship out of heavy armor, because if you do, then your mining ship's going to move like arse, and you really don't want that, especially when you have to travel to a lot of different asteroids. So now I need to see if I can make some thruster components, and I'm guessing I'm not going to be able to. I need gold. Damn it. Hood. I don't see any gold. Looks like what we're going to have to do is some grinding. I don't think I'll need these thrusters anyways, so I'm just going to grind some of them. I'm just going to grind them down. Like, grinding is a last resort. There we go. Now we can finish the ship. Now I've lost the ship again. It must be up here. It's definitely on the asteroid, that's for certain. There it is. Now we just need to finish it. As you can see there, we've got our thrusters in working order. Don't get too close to the thrusters, by the way. If you do, then they can actually damage you. So, yeah, because there's fire. Now, what are the chances of me actually getting hit by those things? I'm guessing a lot. Because I usually do. I need a large steel tube. Damn it. So I can just get one by grinding the one on the other side. Like, it's just an extra, like, yeah, just grind this thing down. Oh shit. That was a great idea from me, was that? Right, let me just get to the assembler so I can dump all this shit in the assembler. There's the thruster components, and then just dump something else, like, I don't know. I just need that, I just need the tube thing here. Grab that. There we go. Okay, so now we can basically just get this finished. And we'll have a ship that we can actually move. Does it have a gyroscope? I've forgotten if I actually added a gyroscope, to be honest. Right, so which one wasn't finished? This one wasn't finished. Oops. There we go. Ion thrusters finished. So now this should be palatable, but first I'm going to check to see if I have a gyroscope. Yes, I do. So now, yeah, I have a palatable ship. Finally, it's about damn time, and it looks pretty nice as well for a mining ship. Oh shit, I forgot to do the front ones. Right, let's get in. Now that we have our ship, it's time to actually... Oh, hang on. So we have silver ice. Oh no, yeah, fully visible so we can see where we're going. Ice, cobalt, iron, ice uranium, ice, silver ice. Let's go to this one again. Now, what you can do is you can basically set it off, and as you can see it uses a bit more energy when you are doing it that way, so you can basically put on dampeners and it's kind of like autopilot. Once you push it forward a bit, then it'll autopilot a little bit, and you'll basically be able to just sit and wait for it, and you can just push it a little bit, like, so you can get it to go faster. Bear in mind that it will also cost energy when you turn on the dampeners. What dampeners are basically the brakes. It's kind of like auto brakes, so basically when you stop accelerating, and the dampeners are on, then the ship will kind of use its brakes, so the front thrusters, which are on the front there, will activate. But when the dampeners are off, the front thrusters won't work. Now, a lot of people make the mistake of not using the dampeners and turning them off by accident, and it causes the ship to like smash into like nearby asteroids and blow up, or get lost forever. So yeah, we don't want to lose our ship. So, and you can take a look inside the cockpit, and you can get a first person view, which is pretty cool. There's two different types of cockpits. This is the regular cockpit, and there's also a fighter cockpit which was added by a modder. I'd say I'm close enough so I can put dampeners on now. Yeah, it's still taking a while. But having a ship to transport shit is important. Like, the biggest reason why you want a ship is just simply because it means you have less back and forth to do when mining. And such a mining ship is the most important ship you can have because of its like storage capacity and shit. That's what it's all about. Now, mining by hand, if you do manage to get every single like bit of like mineral somehow, considering there's a lot, then you're actually getting more than if you like decide to not get every single, like if you use the drills then you're actually getting less, but it's quicker. So while it might not be like, while you might not get as much out of it, it's a lot faster. Right, so what I'm gonna do, this ship is a bit slow at the moment, but it's slowing down a bit now. I want to get it down to about 10 miles per second, or 12 that'll do. Like, you've got to manage time, but at the same time you want to manage your like energy, and you want to manage your like, because you want to get there fast, but you don't want to use too much energy, and you don't want to accidentally like smash into the asteroid at the same time. So yeah, I think the best thing to do now is just turn the dampeners on and just basically push a little bit, and just kind of like slowly move towards it. That way we don't end up breaking this thing. Yeah, it's a bit slow at the moment. I mean, you can make them faster by adding more thrusters, but this is a very basic mining ship, and really, for a mining ship, you don't really want it to be fast anyways, you want it to be slow. Because the slower the better, especially when you're just pushing at rocks all the time. You want to thrust towards the rocks, but you don't want to thrust so hard that it smashes your ship to bits, so you want a nice balance. You still want to have light armor though, because it makes things a lot easier. Right, so once we get closer to the actual asteroid, we can there's the silver, isn't it? So we want to make it our way over there so we can get the silver, and that way we have plenty of silver. Right, so now I want to turn on the drills. To do that, I want to put the drill at the front, and they will all turn on, so you don't have to worry about doing it for each individual drill. And there's the silver, so let's start mining it. We'll get a bit closer to the rock or mineral there. This should be silver. Yeah, I think it is. We'll be able to find out what it is. Yes, that's silver. And yeah, just look at it chew that rock to bits, or that mineral to bits. As you can see, there's a bit that doesn't get out. Like you can make it so that you can like create like, I forgot what they're called now, but you can make it so that you can collect minerals that just fly off like that. But this is just the beginning, so like, to be honest, I've never actually done that. I've always just mined the mineral. I've never really played like that. Performance issues. So yeah, we've got some 26.7k silver ore there. That'll definitely be handy. But what we also want to do is get ice. But I will get a bit more silver. And if you want to see what's going on from third person view, this is what's going on. What I like to do is like push forward a little bit and then just move upwards. As you can see, it like pushes through the rock, it just plows through it. Just gets through the surface and it makes things easier later on. At least that's how I find it. But yeah, we can leave the ship and pick up any additional silver that we didn't manage to. Or is that just an effect or something? I don't know. Yeah, it was just an effect. But in any case, what we want to do is get some ice. I'm also going to need to add a cargo container as well. Apparently there is ice on this planet. I don't know where though. I think it might be on the underside. So we're going to have a look at the underside and see what we can find over there. I don't know if I called it a planet or an asteroid, to be honest. I have short-term memory loss issues sometimes. Aha, there's the ice. Yeah, we want plenty of ice, considering the fact that we have oxygen. And what I want to do is fill the oxygen generator with ice so that it fills the oxygen tank, and it means I can take my helmet off in my little ship, which can be handy, saves oxygen. And yeah, let's grab lots and lots of ice. I want to make sure we get plenty of this. Believe me, you're going to want ice in this game. At least if you're playing with oxygen enabled. I don't know if I enabled pressurization, but it should work on small ships. It has it deactivated by default because it causes a lot of lag issues. Speaking of lag issues, I don't know how like the stream is doing. As you can see, I find it cool how they have all these particle effects, which is pretty nice. It's one thing that this game really does. It is a visual spectacle. I do think that they overdo it a bit too much, though. I mean, you don't need to do all this freaking like particle effects just to have a fun game, but it does look nice. I'm not gonna lie. It really makes mining a lot more satisfying when you can see all the debris and shit. Hang on a minute. Just taking a look at what's going on with my ship. There's no damage, so yeah, let's just keep chipping away. As you can see, I have dampers turned off here. Just for a little bit, but yeah. Let's get in the ice. We're gonna need plenty of this. Hang on a minute. For some reason, I can't seem to... Oh, it's freaking locked for some reason, I don't know why. No wonder. Maybe I had auto lock on. Yeah, I think for starting ship, this isn't that bad actually. Especially for a mining ship, it looks pretty good. I mean, there's not really any point in building a fighter ship, like in single player. Well, it depends on what you want to do, but I probably won't be going for that route. Like, fighter ships are mostly for end game sort of deal, like, if you're gonna go for that, and you mainly use them to just hunt down cargo ships, and it's not particularly easy. Alternatively, you can build a large ship, but most large ships, well, I already have one, but it's broken. Large ships are mainly used for like a movable colony, like everything's there, refinery's there, but it can move around and shit, so you can reposition yourself if you need to. I mean, I'm probably going to go for a space station though. Just simply because it's easier to do it, like, yeah, just get tons of this ice. I'm not gonna lie, I do think that the new particle effects are pretty good, even though it shouldn't really, there shouldn't be any like brown dust coming from the ice, because it is ice, not rock. But whatever, that's a bit of an inconsistency right there, but it's still pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. So how much ice do we have? The oxygen generator. Is that even switched on? So we have 77.9k there. So what I don't understand is why is the oxygen tank auto refill? Right, so that is the main cockpit, so that would be a good thing to put. So the question is, can I take my helmet off in here? Yes, I can. And I don't die either. It's fully pressurized in here, so I can save my oxygen bottles and shit. And I've also got plenty of energy as well. I should really return though, just so I can turn off the ship, because really, as I say, I've got tons of freaking ice now. Well, I'm gonna get a bit more actually, because let's see if I can get to 100k in ice. That'd be really handy. Ice is used so much. It's used so much, especially if you're going to use like hydrogen thrusters. Like, hydrogen thrusters eat ice like it's nothing. I mean, I'm probably not going to be going with hydrogen thrusters in this, mainly because there's no planets in this, but yeah. Ion thrusters all the way. Like, I don't like hydrogen thrusters at all. I hate the whole concept of having to get hydrogen for them, and whereas ion just run on basically uranium, so it's easy enough. So, how are we doing now? 84k. I'm gonna get to 100k. That'll be a good idea. That way we have a nice bit of ice in stock. Yeah, it's good that I finally got the ship made. I haven't finished it, but I've got what needs to be done. Suppose you guys could like chip in if you want to like tell me what you want me to add onto the ship, then feel free to do so. But other than that, this works fine. I mean, it does what it needs to do. Unless you want me to make it any more fancier or something. And I suppose I could add some spotlights, and that's probably what I'm going to do, because like I'm on a surface asteroid at the moment with minerals, but when you're going inside asteroids it can get a bit dark, so you might want to add some like, you might want to add something to it. But yeah, I think this is a pretty decent mining ship to start off with. I think I could do a few more thrusters though. But anyways, I'm gonna go all the way back, or I could go to this unknown signal over here and see what's going on with it. I'm going to keep the dampeners on for this. But yeah, it's a bit slow. I need to speed it up a little. Having two thrusters just doesn't cut it. I'm going to need to have 4. I know I'm going to need to have 4 now. And it's definitely possible to get 4 thrusters, so I'm not really worried about it. But yeah, anyways, while we're doing this, if you've been following my blog, you probably realised that I made a post a few days ago, and it was concerning a video that was made by Extra Credits. Yeah, those guys. Seems like they've got themselves into a bit of trouble recently, as well, they pissed off a lot of people, and rightfully so, because, well, not rightfully so for them, but they have pissed off a lot of people, that's for certain. Like, and that's not exactly a good thing. Yeah, there's the freaking thing, and I went past it because I'm too fast. God damn it.
Meteor storm inbound.
Yeah, if you move too quickly, that's what happens. Now I have to wait for it to go back down. You see what I mean? It's not that easy. Oh, it's disappeared, great. Well, that went well. I guess I'm going back to base. But yeah, Extra Credits did a video, and the video was all about how games should be like more than $60 or £40 for us in the UK, and well, I made a response to that saying, well, it wasn't really completely a response, it was basically a video which was talking about the subject, and I basically said technically games are already higher than £40 or $60. Like, look at Ys 8 for example, that game's more than $60, at least for us. It's like $44.99 for us, Ys 8. But, like, there's more to it than just that. Like, I disagree with the whole principle of it. I think it's stupid, like how we have to sympathize with all these publishers now. Like, since when? Since when have they deserved our sympathy? Like, I just don't buy it. I just think, like, they've like, the thing that annoys me the most about Extra Credits is they're persistent with it. Like, they're not backing down with this. They're like, we know that everybody hates the fact that we're talking about this, but we're going to keep talking about it despite that, because fuck them. And that's kind of the way that Extra Credits have done it. They're like, these people don't understand, and we're just going to, like, patronize them even further with our ignorance, and that's kind of what they've gone with. So now everybody else has to deal with their bullshit, which it pisses me off, because I did watch Extra Credits. Like, it's not like I'm some randomly hating on them, because I am not randomly hating on them for the sake of it. I have watched their content. I think a lot of their content talks about things on a surface level. It doesn't really go into detail like most other like theorists do. And I think the content that they do is alright. I think up until now they've had like everyone's best interests at heart, so I don't have a problem with it. But now it's just gone ridiculous. Like, now you're advocating for publishers. Why? Like, isn't the whole point of like empowering people with knowledge to help indie developers defeat these publishers? Like, make better games that can eventually crush them? I mean, you could argue that it's already happening. I mean, it's already started to happen. I mean, like, you've got games like Hellblade and shit, which I'm surprised that that game did so well, considering DMC Devil May Cry. I mean, I didn't buy Hellblade because, well, mainly of DMC Devil May Cry, but also because, like, the game just wasn't for me. I'm not into puzzles and shit. The game just didn't seem like my cup of tea. But, like, I'm glad it succeeded though, because it needed to succeed to make a point. But at the same time, I want to see games like, I mean, this is a long-term thing. You gotta understand this, but I'm anticipating a video game crash. I am. And I'm anticipating that publishers are going to make a big mistake that they're going to regret, and that causes a crash. Like, maybe making games more expensive is that mistake, who knows? But the way things are going, like, it can't stay this way. Publishers either charge more and go down, or they do microtransactions and piss us off, and if they piss us off, we're going to fight them. That's my philosophy. And as for indies, well, we're going to try and make things easier for them. Like, I mean, the silly thing is, like, it's one thing complaining about, like, the gaming consumer, like, not paying $60 for a brand new game, but let's put this into perspective. Indie developers charge less than $60 for their games. Maybe this is why games like are doing so poorly now, if in sales, if that's a thing. Maybe that's why gamers aren't prepared to pay more, because indies don't charge more. I mean, in a way, I kind of understand on the indie side. I do. Like, indies are not the problem here. Indies have the right to charge more, and I think they should charge more, to be honest, because, like, the money they charge for their games is absolutely ludicrous. Like, it is. I just don't know how they support themselves, considering what they charge. I mean, I understand their perspective though. Like, you're competing with the AAA market. It's not easy, and a lot of these indie developers are one-man bands. But if you're an indie team, and this is where things get a little more interesting. I mean, the game I'm playing now is an indie game. It's an indie game that I played a lot, so I probably dedicated more hours into this game than like most indie games I've played. So it's a big deal for me, at least. Like that, like this game, I can definitely say that I would pay $60 for this game. I would. At least if it doesn't, like, at the current, like, currently how this game is right now, it's in early access, but currently I would pay $60 for this game. Do you know why? Because as much as I complain about it, and quite frankly, I do have a right to complain about it, but as much as I complain about it, I have put over 1,000 hours into this game. That is a serious time investment for a game. As such, yeah, I would pay $60 for this game. I would, because I've invested a lot of time into it. So, yeah, sure, if this developer's willing to charge that, I would pay it. and I don't see why Keen Software House don't charge this. I mean, they really should have charged this from the get-go, but then again, it's in early access, and I'm not sure how well that would go, but... And at release, everybody's going to be expecting the same price, I don't know. Maybe it's something that they might have to think about when they release the game. Because, like, currently, it seems that... Oh god, I'm floating away from this asteroid, aren't I? Which isn't good. Like, currently, it seems that developers like, indie developers seem to not be confident in their, like, projects. And they don't seem to think they can make it. And I don't think they're completely wrong. It's not easy to make a game that can match up to the AAA games, and like, indie developers are still learning, and as such they make screw-ups, and as such it's challenging, like, to make a game of that caliber with so few people, especially if it's just one person. And really, like, if you're an indie developer, like, it's not like you're like just making games for fun. You're making games to make money and to make a living, ultimately. I mean, because making games is a time investment. I mean, it's a serious time investment, because you are doing a lot of work that you really don't want to do. I mean, programming to me is like screen capping taken to the max. That's what programming is to me. It's like, you don't want to do it, but you have to do it, sort of thing. And if you have to do monotonous tasks like programming, that's work to me. Like, to me, that is hard work, and that's the hard bit, if you ask me. There's other jobs that are really hard, like modeling, which require a lot of intricacy and stuff. And, like, I would not want to do all these jobs, believe me. like programming especially, I would hate programming. Like, it's just not me. And freaking, like, modeling and all that lot, I couldn't do any of these jobs. But these people that do all these jobs, like, I do believe that they deserve to be compensated for it, definitely. And especially if AAA developers are, and indie developers deserve compensation too. They deserve, like, they deserve money for this. But the problem is that they're undervaluing their work. And in a way I can see why, because they've been trained to do that. Because of how, like, because of their position in the market, really. Like, they're nothing compared to all these AAA publishers. And as such, they're just expected to, like, work the grind for, like, barely any money. I mean, I watched one of Keith Bergen's streams and I asked him this question, like, what's the financial situation for most indie developers, or your financial situation? And he said most indie developers, they kind of do game development as a side gig. They don't actually, like, do game development full time because it's just not viable. And in a way, that kind of makes sense, considering the prices of all these indie games. Like, it's a side gig for these people. And in a way, you could argue that game development has always been a side gig for programmers. That's kind of how it originated, to be fair. So, yeah, it didn't used to be like this big multi-million-dollar industry. It used to be just a side gig for programmers to do something when they're bored. Like, something on the side. And just way to, like, test the programming skills and stuff and improve it, and games were just a way of doing that. And that's why we have games today, because of bored programmers, pretty much. So, in a way, it makes sense why people will be creating games, so that they can improve at programming and other things. And maybe a lot of these indie game developers, they might not get a job they might not succeed in game design, but they may definitely succeed in programming, and may actually get some high-end jobs later on down the line. Like, you could argue that indie game development is just like a stepping stone to a much bigger career, like, for all these people. And, like, you won't be wrong, but I do think that there's still a lot of people that Just gonna put my helmet back on. There's still a lot of people that really do want to be in this industry, that are indies. And for those people, I kind of do feel sorry for them. I really do, because it's not easy. Like, it's not easy to make it in this industry as indies. Like, you've got to expect to fail. You have to expect to fail. But at the same time, you've got to just persist. Like, this is an industry where you're going to fail a lot. And I don't think that some people get to grips with that. Like, they just can't accept that they're going to fail, and as such they end up like panicking and stuff. And really, like, if you're an indie developer, really all you really should be focusing on before anything is not how you make money, but how you make a good game. And you have to focus on that. You can't focus on the money. The money will come, but you just can't focus on that until you have a product that is, like, until you have a really, really good product. And a lot of people do have a really good product. Newspaper gloves. Wonderful. And we have a cargo container. I don't even know what these are. LCD panels, what the hell? Yeah, get rid of this button panel and let's see if there's any loot in game. But yeah, I got some newspaper gloves. Whoops. Just need to... Ooh, we got an enhanced welder. I think I already have that. Yeah, I do. We also got some computers as well. And the reactors and the LCD panels for some displays would be nice. Oh, did I actually grab that? Or... I don't know. I think I just grinded it to bits, which isn't really a good thing, but oh well. We got some computers and a reactor, which is always nice. So now I want to add some more thrusters to my ship. That's what I want to do. But there's other things I want to do as well. I want to get some more cargo containers on it, just so that I can add something to, like, so I can get ice into, like, my generator. Makes things easier. I think it's all connected up anyways to... Well, it might be, it might not be. I honestly can't tell if it is. But I'm just gonna put, like... I'm gonna put some more thrusters first. Here. There we go. So I'm gonna have quad thrusters, that's what I'm going for. I'm going to get rid of this armor bit here and put some more thrusters on this side. And the rest of it's going to be armor. Oh, whoops. Didn't want that. I want the light armor block, but first I'm just going to make sure that doesn't... Yeah, there we go. So we've got them on the sides now. Same on the other side. You want to try and keep it like the same on each side in terms of number, because it just makes it more balanced. But this will make it move faster. It will use a bit more power though, but you can turn off thrusters, by the way. If you don't want it to use too much power, you can turn them off, like turn some of them off and like micromanaging that shit. For this I want to... I mean, ideally I want to get a conveyor system which links up to more reactors. So yeah, we're going to put 2 more here. And then out steel tubes, great. But I am going to... I'm going to have to put another one over here. That means I'm going to have to grind this down. and put one there, and another one there. I'm going to put another block on top of it, half block, half light armor block. There we go. That should be easy to put on, and like that. So there we go. Now we just need to put the bits at the bottom, which this might actually mean that we're going to have to cut away a little bit more here. You know what? I'm just going to like I'm just going to raise it up. That way, as you can see here, there's bits at the bottom here, and I can just put some more in here. Should have really done this to begin with, to be honest, but so yeah, now I just need some large steel tubes. I can get them from the crash ship. Wherever they are. That's the small one. I want the large one. There we go. Let's get a few. There we go. Not too keen on this, having to click that just to get to all the inventory, though. I'm not too keen on that at all. I want to put like a cargo container on the back, though. That's something that I'm going to need to do. I'm going to weld these a little bit. Should do it. Oh, we have the bottoms to do, don't we? Right, so that's looking good. Yeah, that's looking good. So we've got it all at the front then, and yeah, I think that's basically, aside from like, we obviously want to put some, and I want to actually, what I want to do here, I want to do it like this. Put two conveyors here, and put a small conveyor, no, not that. Just get rid of this. Oops. Right, now, I need to put like this, oh no, not that. I thought it had it there, but it didn't. Oh, hang on a minute. There we go. So yeah, conveyor. I want to bring it out a little bit so that I don't have to constantly move towards. Right, so now I want to get a
Meteor storm inbound.
storage thing. I mean, really what you want to have is a connector for this, but for now I'm just going to have a, whatever it is, cargo container. That's not the cargo container. Looks like I'm going to have to go here. Ah, there we go. Right, so yeah, we have a small cargo container on the back here. And what we can do now, oh, it links up nice. That's actually pretty neat. So I can bring some silver and put into the refinery, I guess. Yeah, it'd be a lot easier if I had connectors, but I just don't have that yet, unfortunately. But we can make some more silver bars. And other than that, well, I think what we're going to do is, wherever this large reactor is, let's turn this off for now. As I'm thinking of going to do some more exploring, see if I can get some, what do we call it, some more minerals. Now that I'm faster, we'll be able to move a lot faster and stuff. And actually, before we do that, I'm just going to get some armor, because we have actually done this bit now. And my arm blocks, let's get them. Nope, not that. Better do this though. And get another one here. But I'm going to have to get another one for each one. Or I could do it this way. Just make it look a little bit better. One problem though. That's not going to be a good idea now. I'm going to have to get rid of this front bit because the thrusters will damage it. That's a problem, so just going to put this on here then. Like, just put the base one up. That should do the job. Just looks a little bit better. Right. Maybe we should have used something different here. Yeah, I'm gonna have to move all the stuff in here now, because yeah, I'm gonna have to get rid of this stone. And I'm also going to get rid of that because I'm going to get a small conveyor. That way I can build the cargo container at the back. And this should link better. Yep. So yeah, extra credits are basically, what they're doing is they're trying to advocate for publishers and saying, and basically saying that we should, like, their argument is basically inflation. That's basically their argument in a nutshell, and apparently their next argument is like the costs of game publishing, I suppose. Or they probably see it as game development. I don't, because if you're gonna wager in, if you're gonna put the like game development into the equation, then basically that's like saying game developers, like indie developers, are added to the equation. And one thing I noticed about the video is that extra credits is talking exclusively about AAA games, not indies. Oh well. I can cut it apart. Got an antenna there. Uranium. That's what it was. I'm not going to say no to free shit. Right, let's go. So, yeah, like, extra credits are basically advocating for the publishers, like I said, but like they don't add indie developers to the equation, and they're only talking about the AAA, and that's kind of selfish in a way. Well, not really selfish because it isn't them. They're not really AAA publishers, but it's kind of just one-sided, and I just think that's wrong, especially considering what content they're trying to make. It's like they didn't even bother like considering the indie developers at all. Like they should be considering the indie developers because they're like basically what their entire content caters towards, indies, and they just showed that they don't care about their own audience, pretty much, because if they did, then they'd be fighting for indies, not the AAA. They prioritize the AAA over the indies, which is fucking stupid. Like, why advocate for the AAA? I just don't get it. Like, the AAA already know, like, literally all the shit you're talking about, extra credits. They know about it all. Like, oh, that's in the wrong direction. They know about it all. They don't need to be lectured by you people. Like, they already know that, like, they already know all the principles. It's just that some of these big publishers can't be bothered to do them. Like, they can't be bothered to actually act. Because, well, why would they change? Why would they, like, change, like, to, like, the old ways back when people actually gave a shit about game design when they're making so much money? Of course they're not going to. Like, they have their way and that's it. So, essentially, your main audience is indie developers. I mean, you also have people like me, I suppose. You had. And I'm mainly just, like, as I say, I do theory crafting, so it's a good idea to know what other people doing game theory are talking about. But ultimately, what do I do from this point onwards, actually? That's the question. But ultimately, like, what I do and what they do is kind of different in a way. Like, I'm not really trying to, like, develop games. I'm trying to show how games, like, show how I believe games should be made. Pretty much. Whereas, like, the target audience for their shit is game developers, particularly indies. And they're turning indies away. And in turning indies away, you're also turning me away. Because you didn't bother to, like, consider indies. You only considered the AAA. Why? What makes the AAA so special? That's what I don't understand. Like, if the AAA is so special, then you'd think that, like, that's the thing. It just makes no sense. It makes no sense to me whatsoever. Like, I'm basically pretty much safe here because I've got, like, my helmet off and, yeah, this isn't on, my big ship isn't on, so basically I can just chill at this point until my energy runs out. But yeah, it's just like, you'd think that they'd be fighting for indies, not the AAA. That's just wrong. Like, that's just wrong in so many ways to me. Like, considering how much the AAA struggles, like, not the AAA, considering how much that indies struggle, like, you side with the AAA. Now, a lot of people would see it like this, they'd say, oh, well, you've got to consider the AAA too. No, you don't have to consider the AAA. Now, there are developers out there like Tri-Ace, for example, and, like, I will get back to actually playing them, I'm just getting this off my chest, that's all. There are developers like Tri-Ace, and, like, people like them who are basically just, they've been bought out by Nipro, so they don't really have much say anymore. But really, they never were a big developer to begin with. You get small game developers who, like, make games that are published, and they're not technically independent, but you get what I mean. Well, actually, Tri-Ace were considered an independent company, but they published, their games were published by other publishers, if that makes sense. So yeah, it's kind of complicated. What we call indie today is kind of not what we called indie back then. So yeah, let's put it this way: gaming has become a lot more accessible for. I think what I'm just gonna do, I'm gonna just set stale for somewhere. Oops. Like what we call indies today is not what we called them back in the day. Like indie, like the reason why is simply because like indie developers today, like, might as well just get some uranium from over there. I could just get uranium from here, but there's no point. It's up close, and yeah. But like indie developers of today are different because there's more. Game development is more accessible now than it ever has been. Back in the day, like, you pretty much had to have publishers and shit, or well, either that. Well, that's the thing. I don't think you need to have publishers, but it was a lot harder, a lot less accessible. But now there's an indie scene. There wasn't really such a thing back then, so. But now there's an indie scene, there's a lot more competition, and it's like an accepted market, if that makes sense. But yeah, like, I do understand that there's development teams out there, and I call them development teams or development, like developers that are companies and have made some somewhat big games. I mean, it's like Tri-Ace have made games that have sold, like they made a game that sold like over 1 million copies if I recall, and that's Star Ocean Until the End of Time. I think that sold over 1 million copies, but like, so you could say that they're a big company, but really they're no different from indie developers in a way. And I do agree that those developers that have worked on big games, just because you've worked on big games doesn't mean that you're like, I like to call developers like Tri-Ace A companies or AA companies. I know it might sound silly, but you know, like you have indies which are kind of like B companies, and you have AA companies, and then you have AAA companies, and it's just how I look at things. It might overcomplicate things, but it's just how I like to associate things as being. Like, I like to just call them different things, personally. But that's just the way, like, it's just the same thing as indies in a way. Like, they're mainly just doing what they're told to do by Nipro, really. Although Nipro have allowed them to make console games, like, let's be honest, Tri-Ace won't be benefiting from all the sales of Star Ocean 5 or Exist Archive or like anything else. Like, if anything, Tri-Ace will earn more in their salary than they ever will in bonuses. Like, I think the days of bonuses are over for Tri-Ace, if I'm honest. They're just basically they're basically working for a salary now. That's what they're working for, if you ask me. Like, their company is struggling. But so are indie developers, so I'm not going to, like, say indie developers aren't, but I'm just basically saying it's not just indies, so I can understand that. But what extra credits are focused on specifically are the AAA companies. And this is the problem. AAA games, and I'm going to say this, AAA games are not as good as they used to be. I know it might sound hard to hear, but this is the truth. Like, look at Capcom, for example. Like, remember back in 6th Gen when they released games like Devil May Cry 3? You don't see games like that anymore. Like, that's just one example of a game that was just top notch, that you just don't see anymore. You don't see games of that quality anymore. And I think Devil May Cry 3 is the best example of what gaming was like back in 6th generation. It's like, to a lot of people, it's the magnum opus of 6th generation in a way, because it pretty much summarizes what 6th gen was all about. It was all about like crazy, over-the-top ideas that like most developers won't even think about, but they went for it, you know what I mean? But I think after playing a few like older PS2 games, I think one thing that a lot of modern games have, and this is a bit of an issue with modern games, is that I find that a lot of modern games, they do try to follow like principles, but they're just too deliberate with them. I mean, this isn't every single AAA game or every single game these days, but I think a lot of games just feel very deliberate, and they lack subtlety. Like, it used to be that, like, games it used to be that games were really hard to read and it was difficult to understand, whereas it's like nowadays games are like, you can tell what developers are trying to do. Like, they're so easy to read that I just think it's difficult to explain really, but there's just less wonderlust when it comes to playing games. Maybe it's just me personally, I don't know, but I just feel that there's just not as much like there's a certain quality lacking in modern games that games had in 6th gen. And Devil May Cry 3 is one of those games that had that quality. Devil May Cry 3 was a game that really gave no fucks. It was off the rails in every single possible way. And that's not to say that games these days aren't off the rails, but I just think that a lot of games these days are like, kind of like, they're trying to imitate and replicate the games of old. But they're just not the games of old. They're not doing anything new and crazy. Like, some games are trying to do something crazy, but it's like, you have like Nier Automata and stuff like that, which are doing crazy shit. But a lot of games, like, compare that to God Hand. That game was beyond crazy. Like, games like Devil May Cry 3 and God Hand just don't exist anymore. And I just don't get why. Like, games like that, people love them. People love them, but to be honest, I don't even know if those type of games can exist anymore. I mean, you have games like Bayonetta, I suppose. That's probably the closest thing. But what I'm talking about with these games is Devil May Cry and God Hand had they were both completely different. Like, both completely different. Whereas Bayonetta just feels like, it doesn't feel like it's bringing anything new. Whereas God Hand did. That game was crazy, not just in a narrative sense, but in the gameplay. It was absolutely crazy as fuck. But, like, it's crazy in the sense that it's ridiculously hard, but also the fact that you can, like, there's a mechanic that allows you to beg for mercy, which makes the game easier. Like, and then the enemies laugh at you. Like, this is a thing. And, like, it was created stuff like that that made games so memorable back then. Nowadays, I don't know if games can be memorable. Maybe they can. Who knows? But, I don't know, it's just a little observation I've made, and, like, I don't know the exact, like, I think I can see where indie developers can improve and all that lot, but I don't know what exactly games need to do to bring them back to the standards of 6th gen. Like, I'm still trying to figure that out. So I don't know the answers, people, but they're not the same as they used to be, let's put it that way. I mean, one thing that I notice is really different with games these days, particularly Nintendo games, is that there's just not half as vibrant as they used to be when it comes to, like, colour. Like, if you look at the GameCube, for example, pretty much every single game, or at least most games on the GameCube, were vibrant and colourful. Hopefully I haven't damaged my ship. Like, they were all vibrant and colourful. Like, Baten Kaitos was vibrant and colourful, like, gorgeous looking game. Like, F-Zero GX, vibrant and colourful. Star Fox Assault, vibrant and colourful. Like, even Pokemon Colosseum, vibrant and colourful. Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door, vibrant and colourful, though, to be fair, it looks very much like the first Paper Mario in a lot of ways, but, I mean, like, I just think that now, ever since the Wii, Nintendo have, and I've noticed this, it's even in how, like, just look at the UK Nintendo official magazine. When the original UK Nintendo official magazine, like, it was so colourful and vibrant. Like, you wanted to buy a copy just because of how colourful and vibrant it was. But then they made it look like this white, like, looking magazine, and everything just went, like, white and grey, and it's just like, where's the colour? Where's the colour gone? I mean, the thing about it is that there are still a lot of colourful games on the market these days. There still are, but I find a lot of big games particularly are just, like, they're forgetting, like, how vibrant games, like, they're forgetting, like, I don't know, like, the value of games back then. They're just forgetting them, like, and how games used to be so vibrant and colourful. You just don't get that anymore. Like, games used to be like that, but now it's just, like, you just have to make this look, like, in high definition. And I think one thing I've noticed, like, look at Super Smash Bros. Melee, for example, then look at Super Smash Bros. Brawl and the new Super Smash Bros. Games. Super Smash Bros. Melee, look at the menu screen. The menu screen of Melee was like this really dark, but like, wireframe background. It was really cool. But then they went to this kind of like, slick background, which was kind of like, very bright. Whereas in Smash Bros. Melee, it was kind of like a dark background. Like, I miss the dark backgrounds, people. I miss the games looking darker. And I think a lot of games on the GameCube looked a lot darker in their colour schemes than, like, games on the Wii do. Like, F-Zero GX, to some degree, that game had some really vibrant colour schemes going for it. And, like, looking at some of the Mario tracks, like, that are supposed to replicate tracks like Big Blue, it kind of makes me worry what would happen if they gave F-Zero that look, as opposed to the look it has in GX, because the look it has in GX is just stunning. And it's just like, when did we lose this sense of colour, Nintendo? Like, when did you lose it? Maybe there are Nintendo games that are colourful. I mean, look, there's the Kirby games for starters. I mean, technically it's made by HAL, but those games have aged really well. Like, that series has aged well. Like, compared to most Nintendo series, well, it's not really, Nintendo don't make it, but HAL do, but compared to, like, most Nintendo IPs, it's held up really well. I'll admit that I haven't played, like, the newer Kirby games. Like, it's mainly because I have such a big backlog, but I can't deny that Kirby's still going strong. And it's one of the few Nintendo franchises that is, if you ask me. Like, I haven't played on a Nintendo system in ages. Like, I haven't played any new Nintendo games in ages either. Like, Nintendo are just kind of in the past for me, which is just weird to think about, considering that I started gaming with Nintendo with the Game Boy Color. That's how I started. And now I'm just like, I'm not going to say so much that I despise Nintendo the most. I'm pissed at Nintendo for making people pay to play online, but they're not the ultimate culprit here. Like, Microsoft are the ultimate culprit for that. But, like, when it comes to, like, the games that they have, it's just like they just don't have the games they used to. And that's why I don't play Nintendo games anymore. Like, believe me, I would find a way to put... I would get a second-hand Switch and a second-hand copy of the new F-Zero if it does come out straight away. I won't be buying it... Well, you know, I might give Nintendo the benefit of the doubt and buy F-Zero, but I'm not buying the fucking Switch for freaking... Like, I'm not buying the fucking Switch, like, brand new. I'll buy it second-hand. Fuck it. Just out of principle. But F-Zero, I would buy that game because, with, like, day one, like, purchase, because it's a symbol to Nintendo to tell them that F-Zero is, we still want F-Zero, so give us more F-Zero. If that makes sense. Like, that's what I'm thinking of. Sometimes you have to think, do I want to support this or do I not? You know what I mean? And in this case, I do want to support it because, well, whoops. Because I want a new F-Zero. I want the F-Zero franchise to continue, and I want to show my support for F-Zero, but not for Nintendo. Sometimes you've got to know how to send the right message, and sometimes you have to compromise on your principles a little, and I think in this case it's worth doing so, because Nintendo haven't pissed me off half as much as Microsoft have. Like, Microsoft have caused all this shit, and now we have to accept it. But until then, I'm just gonna stick with PC. Like, As for PS4, my hard drive's full. That's a good sign because it means that now I've used up my hard drive. I have no reason to keep playing PS4 games, and that means I can just get all the games on PC. So yeah, I mean, as I say, yeah, I will be getting Kingdom Come Deliverance at launch. I won't be getting it at launch. I'll be getting it on the 27th because I decided to pre-order the GOG copy. A lot of people will be pissed off at me for pre-ordering it, like pre-ordering the game, and like, I don't think pre-order culture is really entirely the problem. Honestly, like, it's there, it exists, but I don't think it's entirely the problem. The problem is the people that we choose to support, like who we choose to support. Like, I don't think pre-ordering inherently hurts people, like particularly critics like me who are probably going to review the game anyways. Like, it matters not, we're going to play the game and see for ourselves, but like, it's just as harmful as buying the game day one is pre-ordering. Really, it is. So yeah, or buying the game early, or yeah. So it's not like it's like a bad thing. I mean, you're obviously taking a risk when you pre-order because you don't see the reviews, but I don't think there's anything wrong with people pre-ordering games. I do think that developers have exploited pre-ordering a little bit, some of them, but not every developer does. Not really. I don't think Kingdom Come Deliverance's pre-order bonus is exploiting, considering the fact that you have to actually unlock the armor in game, you don't get it straight away. And really, like, yeah, that is a pre-order bonus that you get for it. And really the reason why I'm pre-ordering it is just so that I can like, I don't know, I just want to get it ordered so that I can just prepare, like, I don't have to order it later, I don't know. I just feel that I've got it pre-ordered, there's no turning back. And I've just got to have that mindset when I'm reviewing games, because I can't worry if the game is terrible or not. I have to make my own assumption. I can't let other people make my own mind up, you know what I mean? I'll make my own mind up. And sometimes you just gotta give games a chance by pre-ordering them, I guess. But I can understand why people wouldn't pre-order, of course, but I don't think it's particularly wrong to pre-order, as long as the publisher, which is Deep Silver. I mean, to be honest with Deep Silver, I've never really cared for most of the games that they publish, but I have nothing against Deep Silver myself. Maybe people do, I don't know, but they've never pissed me off, so I don't have a problem with buying a game from them. I don't. At least not yet, so yeah. But pre-ordering games like EA games, on the other hand, yeah, I do have a problem with that, because that's Electronic Arts. And Electronic Arts have nickel and dimed us for like years now, so people should already know how little of a shit they give, like, about the consumer, so yeah, they don't give a shit about the consumer at all. But yeah, that's ultimately what I'm going to be playing next, really. And I've still got a few loose ends to catch up on, so it's not like I'm going to be out of games to play while I wait for the 27th. Even though I'm not going to be getting it at launch, and believe me, I'm not going to be reviewing that game, like, for a long time, if ever. So, like, I may review the game, but I'm not saying anything, so, like, yeah, I'm not saying anything on that, but it's a potential game that I may potentially review. Just putting that out there, but it doesn't mean I'm going to review it. But it's the next game on my list, so hopefully it's good, because I want to praise the game. I'm cautiously optimistic to some degree about it, but I mean, it focuses on realism elements, and the combat might be a bit, I don't know, like, I'm not sure how well I'm going to get into the combat system, but we'll see. I'm a bit worried, I'm not going to lie, but it might work, and I can't judge it until I've tried it, so yeah. You know, I've got a lot of this uranium, but you can't have too much, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, I don't know about Ys 8. I don't know. Like, I haven't even pre-ordered that game. I mean, I've told people that I'm gonna wait for the PC release, but in all honesty, I don't even know if I'm even gonna get it. Like, I mean, that's not to say that the game's bad, it's just, I want something big. I want something really big, like, that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking for a really big game to play, and I think Kingdom Come Deliverance is going to take up enough of my time as it is, so don't really want to, I'm not sure about Ys 8. That's not to say I'm not going to pick it up, but the price it is right now, like $44.99, it is a bit steep. So I think the best thing for Ys 8 is to just wait for a price drop. Like, wait till it goes down to like 30 quid or 20 quid or something, and then I'll pick it up. So maybe next year. But that's what I'm thinking about with Ys 8 now. Like, I was seriously considering getting it, but now I'm thinking about a price drop. I mean, looking at what people have said about it and looking at what I've seen from the gameplay, it looks simple. It doesn't look like a bad game. It looks like a game that, a bit like AR No Surge, it looks like a nice time sink for a nice time sink in a way. You're getting your money's worth with AR No Surge at its price, but I'm not sure if it's going to be worth the money for Ys 8 because of how simple it is. Like, that's the thing. Like, it's mainly because of what they're charging. Like, it does look like it's going to be worth my time though, but I just think that it's just a bit too steep in price. That's the thing. So I'm thinking of waiting on it. I mean, what I mean by, like, in the sense that it's like, because like I said with AR No Surge, it's a nice time sink. What I mean by that is let's put it this way, I'm not going to even say anything more than that, but that's what it is so far from my first impressions. You could argue it's a nice time sink. But what I mean by that is that the game is enjoyable. But so far I can't really say anything else other than that. But I do think that Ys 8 has potential to be an enjoyable romp. I do think it does have the potential to be that. I just think that I want something bigger. And really, if I'm going to invest my time in anything, it's going to be Kingdom Come Deliverance. You either go all in, or you just don't go in at all, you know what I mean? And that's where I'm going to go for this one. As for Bannerlord, I have no idea when that's going to release. Heck, I don't even know when Ys 8 is going to release anyways, so I may end up picking it up. Who knows? We'll just have to see, but I don't think the game is bad, I just think that it's nothing too spectacular from what I've seen. I don't think it's, like, a must-play. I won't really consider it that so far from what I've played. But it does look interesting. It does look interesting enough, I'd say. So, it's not all bad. I just think that I'm just not really too sure on it myself. Like, I'm just not sure if it's worth the price of admission. So, I might hold off on it. I might not. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I might give it a go. I might pay the full price for it. But if I do pay the full price for it, then if the game is shit, then yeah, I'll make everybody know about it. But I'm gonna trust people on this one. I mean, the game seems alright. It seems like it seems like it'd be fun. I'm just not sure about the price tag. I'm just not sure it's worth it, because yeah, it looks like very basic but enjoyable combat. Just like AR No Surge. Like, that's the same combat in AR No Surge from what I've played in a way. It's simple combat, but it's enjoyable and it works. But at least I can say that with AR No Surge. Like, at least I can say that. But with this, like you say, I haven't played it, so I don't know. I don't know if it works. So that's something I'm gonna have to figure out. Hopefully it does work, that's all I can say, but until I find out, we won't know. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm planning. I'm planning on doing Kingdom Come Deliverance, playing through that. Another thing I want to say as well, I might do a separate post as well, but I will be on a bit of a hiatus with my blogs. Like, So, and this is going to be a long one, so it's going to be throughout the spring summer season. Like, that's going to be a hiatus. Now, I might do bits and pieces of content, I don't know, but let's put it this way, I may be absent or may not produce as much content as I usually do on those, like, during those months. So I just thought I'd like update you on that, because like I don't want people to wonder where I am and stuff like that. But yeah, it's, let's put it this way, I have that, it's a busy time for me as that time, so I really don't have as much time to dedicate to like my blog or gaming. So really, it's, I just thought I'd throw that out there just so everybody knows. And I'm just going to land the ship now and unload it. I think that's what I need to do. I've made some progress this time. I've got a working ship, I've got some minerals and stuff. I mean, eventually I'm going to need to think about what I'm going to do next in it. I mean, I've been getting minerals and stuff, but I don't really know exactly what I'm going to be doing next. I will say though that that's somebody's welding. I will say though that this is a pretty nice ship to start off with. It is, like, as a starter ship. I might actually colour it and stuff. I don't know. That's what I'll do before I end the stream. I might colour it. We'll see. But for now, I need to kind of like unload it. And unfortunately, since I don't have a connector, I'm gonna have to unload it manually. But yeah, it's a great start to just start with a ship. That's where it's always best to start with a ship first.
Meteor storm inbound.
Uh-oh, meteor storm. So yeah, just need to land it now. Oh, pressing the wrong button, I'm pressing X. It's because of this new keyboard, that's why, like, I need to get used to it. It is a great keyboard though, I really like it. It's very minimalistic, it fits my desk really well. It's not too big. It's a Red Dragon Kumara, in case you're wondering. And personally, if you don't have much space and you're looking for a mechanical keyboard, it is probably the best one to get, and it's for a good price as well. I definitely recommend it. But like, as I say, I don't think it's necessary for gaming, like a lot of people say, but if you're a writer, it feels really nice to use. So I definitely recommend giving it a go. Let's put my helmet on, and I'm going to turn it off, and oh, actually I can't turn it off yet. I'm going to have to, you press Y to turn it on. I'm going to get out, so I can get some cargo out. But first I'm going to have to put the stuff in that I already have. I don't actually know if it's worth, like, uranium. Oh, I can't actually put it in through there. Now, as I say, I don't know if it's... yeah, forget that. I've completely forgotten what I was saying now. I'm gonna put this in somewhere else. I could put this in the large reactor. No, I can't. I'll just put it in here then, I guess. And I've got a pretty big shift button as well now. Oh yeah, I need to actually turn on the whatchamacallit so that the conveyors work wherever they are, if I can find it. Large reactor, there we go. So yeah, I don't know if this will work now. No, it won't, so I'm going to have to put it into the assembler, all of my findings. and loot and shit. Can go in there for the time being. Because yeah, I'm just gonna finish welding what I was doing and unload. That's what I'm gonna do, unload all my shit. So yeah, let's get that done. Could go for another unknown signal, but I'm thinking about making this ship black. Does it look good in black? I don't know. We'll have to see, won't we? But I could make it red. That'd be interesting. I like the colour red, so we can go for the colour red, I suppose. Like, just full on red, why not? Yeah, I usually colour all my ships in red. And then again, I could do it in black, but does it really matter? I don't really have anything there, so... Actually, you know what? Let's kind of go black. Let's just go full on black. Something different. Since it is a stream that lot, I might as well colour it something different. Nice black colour. I can make it black and red. Like a bit of both. Like I can have little parts of it be red. Like this bit over here can be red at the back, so I've got a little bit of aesthetic, so it stands out a little bit. And these bits can be red as well. And put like a red like line around here. Oh, maybe not. I'll actually keep that black. Right. I'll put it at the top then, I guess. Or I could do something else, I don't know. I could do this. Put like a line at the bottom, that might actually be a good idea.
Meteor storm inbound.
And yeah. The only problem is that I'm going to have to grind this one down, so I can grind the one down under it, not you. I want to grind the light armor lot there, so that I can place a new one. There we go. I think this looks nice. The nice as my ship's going to look at least. Maybe paint that red and have like a red central one. Yeah, I think that looks pretty nice. There are some other things I could do with it. I can add a antenna. like so. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that yet. No. I think what I might do is call it. I've made some progress, so it might be a good time to call it actually. I've got my new painted ship and stuff. So yeah, this would be a good time to call it really. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. So yeah, I'm just going to call it here, so I'll see you guys later.